it was announced that Dame Deborah James has died at the age of just 40 after receiving end-of-life care at home for bowel cancer. In a final message posted by her family online, she said, "Find a life worth enjoying, take risks, love deeply, have no regrets, and always, always have rebellious hope." And campaigning for bowel cancer awareness right to the end, she added, "Check your poo. It could just save your life." She really was an inspiration, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was, and it's an incredible legacy. You know, she changed lives, she saved lives, and she used the life that she had to raise phenomenal amounts of money for charity.
Nearly 7 million, I think.
Yeah, and actually the most well-known charity would struggle to raise that in the short time that she did. So she was always helping other people, and I think through that legacy, she will stay alive in our hearts and our minds. And I think what she did is tackled a real taboo subject. You know, it's one of the cancers that probably isn't talked about in the way that we're now saying, you know, check your poo. Talking about our toilet habits is something we shy away from. And she is prompting so many people to do that. And it's because of Deborah that we're having a conversation like this today on mainstream TV.
Yeah, she very much put her sort of experience and feelings out there, as you say, for a good reason. But let's have a little look what Deborah herself had to say in her final podcast last month. Well, that puts all the little things we might be worrying about in life into perspective. How do you feel?
I mean, I felt really teary when I heard the news, because I think we all felt as if we knew her because she was so public about it. And I want to say to her family that we really think of you today as well, because I know from our own experience that families, although it's a different kind of pain and suffering, it's really, really important. And I think that you will get great comfort from the fact that so many people will be helped because of this vast amount of money that she has raised. And I have a saying that people never die if they live on the lips of the living. And I think we will always talk about Deborah forevermore, because she will save. She will do her work in a funny way from a different place. But Karen, my Karen was the same age. She was just 41. And what I've never been able to understand, because when I looked at Deborah and I saw her, you know, so full of attitude, so full of life, looking so gorgeous, and going to Ascot last week and going to Chelsea Flower Show, all of that. And I think, where do you get the energy when you're so close to death to do that, to dress up, to smile, to be amongst people? And Karen was the same. I mean, I'm wearing a ring on my finger, which I never take off. And 2.5 days before Karen died, she was in Germany shopping and buying this particular ring, which I was lucky enough to be given after she died. And I thought afterwards, isn't it, because we'd known for 7 years that she was dealing with cancer, and we know that Deborah's been dealing with it for nearly 6. And yet, when it gets near that end of life, where that spirit and attitude comes from is quite revealing, really, I think. And also, you learn from it, because Karen became our teacher because of her attitude. Attitude's a great word. And Deborah also, she had an incredible attitude. And her family will be carried forward, you know, because of that. And I feel of the family as well, apart from Deborah. So much love to you all.
Well, I mean, that's absolutely, Gloria. And another one of the important messages with Dame Deborah is getting out the message about how to spot the symptoms. And she's been very much a part of Lorraine's No Buts campaign. And 43,000 people a year are diagnosed with bowel cancer. But here are some of the symptoms: blood in your poo or from your bottom, obvious changes in your bowel habit, weight loss that you can't explain, extreme tiredness for no apparent reason, and a lump and or pain in your tummy. Now, I, as we all know, recently hit 60, and one of these came through the post for me. And it is the NHS bowel screening. So if you get one of these, if you're lucky enough to be of an age that they'll send one to you, it's the simplest thing. It's just this little thing, and it just goes into your poo, back in the bottle, and you post it off. And then they send you the result.
So that's a really straightforward, simple
incredibly
indicator.
straightforward.
Yes.
But Kelly, the other thing there, the message of live the life that you want to live, that's a powerful message as well,
I think what struck me was when she said, the one thing I want right now is more time and more life. And I think that is something that we can all take away, something from that. I mean, me living with lupus is and that's how I see it, living with it. When you're diagnosed with anything that you know there's no cure for, or when you know that you're end of life, you know, we're all on borrowed time. None of us know when the last day is for us, but we just take it for granted and we just live this life very carelessly and we're not really thinking about it. But what Deborah is bringing home to us is that it's, you know, we're all on borrowed time. When you're born, you know that at some point you're going to die. And so I'm very much one of those people that just embraces life and lives every day like it could be my last, because you just don't know. And I think this whole, you know, her construct of rebellious hope, that in itself should inspire everybody, because I know there are a lot of people, even right now, that are in a hospital bed somewhere dealing with whatever challenge they are facing. And just having that rebellious hope that says, in spite of everything and what you say or what your diagnosis is, it's that kind of hanging on to hope.
Isn't it interesting as well that Deborah talked about living the life to the extreme or to the best of your ability? And she did that right up until the very last minute.
She wore lipstick to the end, you know. She, in the face of disease, she was vibrant, she was tenacious, she was glamorous, she was always dancing. I met a guy, actually, that reminds me of Deborah. When I was... I sit on the judging panel for Pride of Britain, and he'd had prostate cancer. He was a mechanic, and, you know, he was from the Caribbean community, and he said, in my community, particularly as men, we just don't talk about illnesses and symptoms. And he offered every man a free check on their car if they went and got their prostate checked first. So, of course, everyone did. And he saved a good handful of his customers' lives who actually had irregularities and things going on in their prostate.
Raising awareness is everything. Plenty more to come after the break.